All right, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. For those of you who are brand new to the channel, I picked this 300 up from auction for $2,900. We do not currently have power to this thing, but we do know why the car doesn't have power. So crazy enough, the last owner of this actually saw our most recent video, reached out to us, confirmed the last 4 digits of the VIN. So huge shout out to you, Daryl. I cannot believe you found that video. That is super cool. Appreciate all of your information on this thing. And you know, you definitely kept it in good shape for us. So it explains why this thing is nearly immaculate. So he also let us know that it was recently painted. He lowered it on coilovers, did the yellow calipers and all the tint and stuff. So he had this car 2 years ago and then crazy enough, stumbled across our part 1 of this rebuild. So Daryl let us know that this thing was in a flood. That was crazy news to me. So I guess he had traded it in at a dealership. The dealership had gotten a little bit flooded from a huge rainstorm. And he said that one of the technicians, when he brought his truck in for service, had let him know that his old SRT got flooded. The primary damage said mechanical on the auction listing. It said nothing about flood. In today's video, we're gonna start diving into this thing because we are determined to get this thing started and get it back up and running better than ever. Not want to let one of these go to waste. So we're going to fix this thing up. And once again, we're going to be giving it away to one of you. So how the giveaway is going to work is you're going to go head on over to AtlanticBeachCustoms.com. Every digital photo you buy will get you 1 entry into the giveaway. Pick up a few limited edition photos of this thing. Once we draw the winner, we'll be loading it up on a trailer, driving it across the country, wherever the winner lives, and we'll be making a full video of us handing this off to the new owner. So you'll get to see and meet the new owner with us for the first time. All right, so back to this. In today's video, we're going to be diving into a bunch of this stuff. So what we're going to do is, first off, change the oil, change the transmission fluid, change both of the filters, inspect those fluids, see how they look. We're going to be replacing the battery back there, checking all of the fuses, and then once we get a bunch of those things done, we're going to be pulling the spark plugs and trying to start this thing. So once we get the spark plugs out, we're going to start it up and see if we can get water out of this thing. Fingers crossed, you guys. Please wish us some good luck with this. But I am hoping that nobody started this. So since it did get flooded at a dealer, I hope that it was just in their lot, completely off. It got flooded and then they just immediately sent it away. I love finding these cool cars from auction and getting them super cheap. Because like I always say, you never know what you're going to get. So like our Dodge Charger, we got that thing for $3,300. That thing is an absolute gem. There was virtually nothing wrong with it. Brand new long block, transmission was rebuilt. So that was a huge auction score. You know, this one we got for $2,900. So still super cheap. So that's what's cool is we got it cheap enough where it does kind of give us a little bit of wiggle room. So first thing I'm gonna do real quick is actually check the oil. All right, so let's take a look, see if we can find any sign of water on this thing. Okay, it does not look like it. This looks purely like oil to me. I do not see any sign that there's any water droplets on this, and the oil looks good. I am optimistic. So we're off to a good start. Okay, something else I'm gonna check real quick is this air filter. We'll see if this looks like it was covered in water. This is what it looks like. I'll have to get a flashlight and go shine it down there. I'm not seeing any signs that this was filled with water, but it does look extremely dirty. So this definitely needs to be replaced. All right, so now what I'm gonna do real quick is get all of this oil changed. So we've got a brand new filter, brand new oil. We are going to completely drain this, see how it looks, and then as soon as we do that, we'll do the same thing with the transmission. So we'll drop the transmission pan, put a new filter on there, put a new gasket, refill all the fluid, inspect the old fluid. So yeah, we'll start with those real quick and see how it looks. Okay, so we got this thing all jacked up. I'm about to change the oil. Just want to show you guys underneath here how it looks. We don't have that much rust down under here at all. Transmission pan looks pretty good. But yeah, what I'm gonna do real quick is get the oil drained out of here, see how it looks, see if it looks like there's any water dilution, and then we will go ahead and drop the transmission pan, inspect that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do another little check around. It doesn't look like anything's hanging from underneath, except for that little trim piece right there. That's just a little plastic guard. So that's not a big deal. But yeah, let's get this oil drained and see how it looks. So I've been taking a look at this oil as it drips down. I think this oil looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty normal. You can see down here in this drip, you know, it is see-through, but then once it gets in the pan, it appears a little bit darker. It looks like your regular used oil. Does not look like it has been mixed with water, but this entire build series is kind of just gonna be a little bit of luck, which is kind of fun for you guys because, you know, I don't plan these things out. It's impossible to plan these auction builds out. So you guys are just gonna see live, real time, kind of what we come across. But oil looks pretty good. So once that finishes up, I'm going to remove this oil filter, kind of inspect that, see how the inside of that looks. But I am pretty happy with how it's looking so far. You guys will have to let me know what you think. I'm optimistic, so let's keep going. Okay, so we just got the transmission pan dropped and the trans fluid looks good too. So to me, that just looks like normal transmission fluid. I am super, super optimistic. Once again, does not look like the transmission filled with water at all. This looks simply just like regular trans fluid to me. So this looks good. Okay, so just finished up both of the fluid changes. So we got the oil done and the transmission fluid. So now that we have those taken care of, we're gonna start working on the electrical. So we're gonna take a look into both the front and the rear fuse box, some of the other wiring, and kind of see what we're looking at because I wanna try to get this thing started. So at least now we know that if it does start, it'll be okay since we got the brand new oil and transmission fluid in. I'm gonna be taking out those spark plugs. So yeah, gonna get working on all that right now. Really, the only visible sign that it was flooded was back here. So in the trunk, I lifted this thing up. I hadn't done this before. There were some towels back here, and then there's these mats still left behind. It looks like they quickly threw this in here to try to mop up some of the water, but taking a look at this, it looks like this right here definitely got hit with some water. Looks like someone tried breaking into it. So yeah. This is really the only visible sign of water damage. What do you think?
Yeah, so looks like water got in. We're trying to figure out at what level. This is not rusted here, but you can see that rusted. This bolt back here rusted. It looks like probably this entire box was underwater because of all the rust and just the corrosion that you see there.
If you can pull some of these fuses, what does it look like?
This one. Well, let's try and get one of these other guys. Ah, the fact that they're that.
It probably seized in there.
Yeah. See that?
Yep. So, looks like it definitely got to this rear fuse box. But come take a look at the front one. This one up here.
Ooh, yeah. Yep.
So, the water did not get up to this.
Yeah, we'll see if when we dig in here a little bit, we can find. Okay, so we have a fuse box coming. We'll replace every one of these, go through, make sure we get it all back in proper place, and very hopeful that that might be, very well be the issue.
right, so just got all of the spark plugs removed. I didn't even realize that this thing had 16 spark plugs. It's got 2 for every pack. So got them out on both sides, just did that to kind of cover it. Gonna do the same thing with this side. But all of them looked pretty good. You know, they do look pretty worn, but I didn't see any signs that these had been impacted by water. So once again, once we get power to the car, we're going to start it with the spark plugs out just to see if we can get any water to come out if there is any in there. But then we're going to be replacing them. So we've got some brand new spark plugs, brand new coil packs, you know, obviously brand new air filter, a bunch of other stuff. This was really good. These are all things I wanted to do anyways, but now we'll have that surety. We got the oil changed, we got the transmission fluid changed, we got the spark plugs out. So if there is any water in here, you know, it wouldn't hopefully cause any major damage. And then, yeah, so once again, we checked this fuse box right here. This one looks super good. So all of those fuses look intact. It looks like there was absolutely no water that got up to this fuse box. And then Jared's working back here on these. We're hoping that we can just refit all of these connectors with our new fuse box and the new fuses and hopefully get power to this thing. If we don't get power to it, I'm not entirely sure where we would start from next. What do you think? Yeah. So I guess if you guys have any ideas, could drop in the comments what you guys would do next. Again, we'll have the new battery. The fuses up front are good. These ones will be replaced. I'm not sure if next we'd have to start digging into the big wire harnesses. But yeah, let us know down below. All right, you guys, so this is pretty much gonna wrap it up for today's video. I am waiting on a few other parts, so we've got to get that fuse box back there with those new fuses, so that way we can see if we can get power to it. So hopefully in our next video, we will hook up that new fuse box. Hopefully we can then get power to it. We'll try starting it, and then if it does start, we'll kind of reassess and go from there. But I'm optimistic. You know, from everything I did, it does not look like the water damage was that bad. And if that is the case, then this thing will have been a huge score. Because once again, we got this for $2,900, clean title, 110 to 20-ish thousand miles. So that's something else I forgot to mention, was on the Carfax, the last odometer reading was about a year ago, and it was at 110,000 miles. So I would assume that this thing does not have more than 120, 125,000 original miles. If you guys have any other recommendations, things I should look at replacing or changing out, let me know down below. If you have any expertise or information on tackling a previously flood damaged car, I am all ears. But yeah, thank you all so much again for tuning in. I really appreciate all your support. Go enter into this giveaway. Go enter into our Dodge Charger giveaway. You could win this car or our Dodge Charger. And our Dodge Charger is ending here in about 2 weeks. We'll be drawing and announcing the winner live. We'll be delivering these cars to the winner. So go enter into those giveaways. You could be the one walking away with that Dodge Charger or this Chrysler. But thank you all again, and I'll catch you all later.